I want to say, first of all, to Nigerians, that we are not as poor as we think we are. That our minds are very powerful. There is a law in the Bible. As a man thinks in his heart, so he is. In other words, it's not a person's circumstances that determine the person's level of success. It is how one thinks that controls the circumstances. Most of us grew up in poverty, and poverty has conditioned our thinking. Mediocrity, poor quality living. Part of the thinking we inherited also is that we are helpless, we are powerless. We can't change the situation. It's not true. First, I wrote a small book titled, We Are the Government. Most people are waiting for someone in Abuja to change their lives. It may not happen in a long time. The most critical things you need to do to stay alive, to make progress, are things you have to do yourself. You just need to think about it. The most critical one is you have to keep breathing to stay alive. Government can't breathe for you. You have to breathe for yourself. You have to continue to eat and to drink. Government won't eat and drink for you. You do that for yourself. As much as your wife may love you, she can't eat for you. She can't drink for you. Life is personal responsibility. Government can create the environment. Government won't come and paint your house for you. Government can't write your exams for you. And these are basic things that are very critical. The average Nigerian should go and read the Nigerian Constitution. Find out what are their rights. According to the Constitution, it's our right for government to make sure we have shelter, that we have food to eat. It's in chapter 2 of the Constitution. They just call them non-justiciable rights. In other words, you can't take government to court if government doesn't do those things. But government is supposed to do them. But there's a place where you can deal with government when they need your vote. What are the topics that we discuss when the election comes? It's remarkable how we can carry out protests, do rallies, and then when the elections come, those things we were protesting about don't form part of the discussion at all. Remarkable. Nigerians need to know that there is nowhere in the world that the elite that control power and use it to channel economic resources to benefit themselves and their families, there is nowhere that they willingly decided to change the lives of poor people. Nigerians need to rise up and to demand for what is theirs in a non-violent way. First, it was not government that changed my life. It wasn't government that was dreaming for me. I used my imagination. My outside was not good. It wasn't what I wanted. I realized God gave me imagination, and that it functions like the film in a camera. Any image you have there is what God will print out for you in real life. The dreams I had for myself, they are my reality today. I challenge every Nigerian, dream for yourself. Okay, even if Nigeria is not going to change, where will your own life be in 20, 30, or 40 years' time? Dream for yourself. But then when we have so many of us dreaming for ourselves like that, then we need to come together and dream for Nigeria, a dream of development. I will just end by adding a warning to Nigerians. Life doesn't actually have stagnation. You're either moving forward or you're moving backwards. If we don't decide to go for development for our own sake and the sakes of our children, grandchildren, and their own children, Nigeria won't stagnate. It will disintegrate. It will go back. Some of the things happening in Nigeria now, who could have imagined just 5 years ago that they will be happening? If you asked us 5 years ago, we would say, look, it can't be worse than this. Nigeria is really bad. It's worse now. We should not assume that it can't go even worse than it is now. We must take responsibility now. Stop the country from going down the drain, and stop thinking that one magical person will show up in Abuja and change our lives. We are the ones who need to set the agenda. This is the Nigeria that we want. So you want to go into office, right? You need our vote. If you have the character and you have the competence, we vote you in. If you don't have any track record, you don't have capacity to build and develop Nigeria, we don't vote for you. I encourage Nigerians, don't vote for them. If someone comes pretending, has sweet mouth, and we vote for the person, then the person gets in there and cannot do it, we should get them out. Either impeach them or vote them out at the next elections. But we must realize this is about us, our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. Whether we like it or not, the history books will be written. The stand that we took during our time, they will analyze it after we have gone. Our great-grandchildren should find us on the right side of history, that we laid the foundation for them. Even if we couldn't finish everything, but we laid the foundation. The United States was not like this 100 years ago, 200 years ago. But some people did their part. Others came after them, added to it. That's why they are where they are. We've celebrated 100 years of Nigeria's existence. We have to remember, we were not part of the discussion 100 years ago when Nigeria was created. What was it created for? To be a source of raw materials for industries in Europe. Until we create a better idea to replace that, our best resources, including human beings, will be going to Europe and America. We need now to create a new purpose for Nigeria. That will determine the Nigeria our grandchildren will live in 100 years' time.